think part of the reason people don't know is, I mean, we are in the entertainment industry. It is the industry of smoke and mirrors. Like, that is the point. They don't want people to know. They don't want us to know either. Like, they don't want us talking to each other to find out, well, how much are you making?
That
how much
part
are you
blows
making?
my mind.
What's happening to you?
Right.
What's happening to you?
Right.
There are no standards. And I think part of what I would love to break down and for people to understand is we're gig workers, right? We are contract workers. And I think this is the thing I try to explain to my family all the time, which to some degree they understand, and then at times they don't. We don't get vacations. We don't get time off. You don't get sick days. It's like any other contract sort of job, right? And in this particular industry, what
even though we're watching this successful show, we're all
when I tell you how crazy it's also gotten, right? Like, it's hard to explain because our industry in and of itself can seem a little complicated, right? It's not like a regular job where I go 9 to 5. No,
right.
I might work for 3 months. I might work for 6 months and then not work again for 2 years, right? Like, because it might take that long for that show to come out. But then I might be working from 10 to 2 a.m., right, on this day. And like, our hours are crazy. What we're paid is crazy. But besides that, right, what's happening now isn't just a one thing, right? It's not just our pay, right? It's also, you know, one of the most expensive shows ever created, aired last year. That writer's room got 10 weeks to write a show that I think they spent something over $700 million to make, right? But the writers got 10 weeks. And then they had to write their episodes when they weren't in the room for free, basically. It's like you got your script fee, but normally you're writing while in the room, because if Yvette is writing episode before mine, I need to know what she's doing because mine's going to change by hers. So by us not even being able to communicate, it's almost impossible to write episodes that make sense, because if any little thing changes, like, we need to be together. So on average, the shortest used to be 6 months was the shortest. It was like 10 months for the longest had been the thing. You had 10 months to actually plot it out and deal with it and like do all the production stuff. Then it became 6 months. Then it became 3 months. Now we're at like 10 weeks. There are rooms that are 8 weeks. So you're asking writers to basically work around the clock. We're working, you know, and it wasn't like we weren't working long hours before, but you know, being on a show where you're literally expected to be there until 10 p.m. and then get up and be there in the morning and then do this and work on the weekends and work on, you're missing holidays, you're missing everything. People are burnt. They're burnt out and they're not making more money. So they're making less.
As I'm listening to you, I can't help but think about, you know, some of the big drivers that came out of COVID with Netflix and Hulu and HBO, all the things, right? All the new platforms, if you will. I have been so impressed with how much new material they're able to put on so quickly. But I talked to my husband about this just the other day, and I didn't even make this connection until we're having this conversation, okay? I was telling him, you know, what's interesting to me is that I am now reprogrammed in my relationship with TV, film, entertainment. My relationship now, most of the time, is I want to take a Saturday or a Friday or whatever day, and I want to start with an episode, and I want to go all the way through to the end. So when I was a kid who loved the Cosby Show in a different world, I had to tune in on Thursday, 7:00. That's it. There was no option.
But in the seat.
Wait for what Rudy did. I had to wait for what Theo did, right? Was he going to kiss Charlene or not? I had to wait. But the point is, now we have reprogrammed us. So I had not thought about the engine that goes back behind all of that. If you are a writer, your material is over a time frame that supports episodes playing out over a season. versus now the reprogramming of people like me. I want to sit down and have opportunity to see the whole season right there one swap. What?
But the thing is, it wouldn't be problematic if we actually had enough time to do the work, right? When people are like, this don't make no sense, and I'm like, you had 10 weeks to do 10 episodes. Like, it's not enough time, but then it's also, that's just the writing portion of it. And I think most people think, oh, all we do is the writing. And you don't. You go to set, you produce that episode.
Exactly.
Right? I am there every day of production. So I'm helping and talking to people who are doing costumes, who are doing set, who are doing lighting, to the directors, to the actors, right? And that's a whole other part. We're in editing, we're in sound. So the fact that all of these things are part of our job, and yet what they're trying to do is disconnect us from it. And it's making the shows even more discombobulated because the right hand don't know what the left hand is doing, and half of them don't know where the parts are. Like, it's just like, it makes no sense.
And